There we go.
All right, guys, we're going to go live. Devin and I were talking. We kind of went down the rabbit hole. We were going to start at 5:30, but we were talking about, he was asking because one of your viewers or Patreon supporters sent you this
one of
uniform.
my viewers sent me this cool getup.
Right. So the American, the multicam, or is that the old one? I can't remember.
This
like
is the OCP. No, this is the
multicam
jungle uniform because there's no chest pockets. This is a new one.
Okay. So it's, the jungle one. Yep.
This is the jungle one. There he is, right there. That guy.
Oh, Thomas?
Yeah, Thomas. He sent me all this cool stuff.
All right, cool. So Thomas, this sparked a really good conversation that, you as a fellow Army guy will appreciate this because a lot of people don't know this, and I didn't know Devin didn't know this.
I didn't know
it's Devin, but it sounds complicated, but it's really not, and so we're going to break it down. So he initially had the 82nd patch on his right shoulder below the flag, and I was like, well, your unit patch, should be on the left shoulder, right? And so we got that squared away, and then he's like, well, why? And so I was like, well, because it's not your combat patch and all that shit. He's like, what? And so we're talking about this. So let's just go back. Let's just hash through the conversation again.
All right. Welcome back.
Yeah, go ahead. Ask. Yeah. No.
Okay. So first of all, I was wearing this one. On underneath the American flag on this side, and Mike's like, put the subdued one on. I was like, okay, and so I threw it back on in the same spot, and he's like, put it on the left shoulder. I'm like, okay, why? And so now then he proceeded to went over here, and so then he proceeded to explain to me that people can wear two patches, one because you got deployed for a month, and that's the one you wear on your right shoulder. Whoever you were deployed with, and you could change that as much as you want
to a combat zone
if you have multiple of them or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, to a combat zone, and then your left one is where you're currently in. I guess, right? Am I getting that right? Am I doing that right?
Yes, you're getting that right.
Okay.
And so, and so it didn't. So that's how easy it is. So you just got that. I just explained it to you for 5 minutes, and you got it. So
you had to explain to me for 5 minutes though, because I was like, why is this way? It's not like I didn't understand when you said, well, it goes over here because but why is that a thing?
Right, but you said, oh, that's really complicated. And I'm like, well, it's not. And then it was 5 minutes, and then you're like, you've got it. So it's like
no.
So your left shoulder
made sense, but where I was getting confused is why is that a thing? Why isn't it just the same one for both arms? Or why isn't it just one arm and the other one's for whatever other shit? Or what's right? Why is there two? What's the history of there being two?
Right. So yes, the Army since the end of the First World War came up. They got this idea from the British, by the way. By having distinctive unit insignia. But they didn't start until 1916 in the Somme, where there were so many guys, and they were like, we have to figure out what unit is where and all that shit.
Yeah, where they put
the Army
countries worth of people.
Right. So the U.S. Army at the end of World War I, it didn't happen. I mean, it did very sporadically, but we're talking late October to November 1918. So mostly post armistice, the Army started having unit patches like this that I'm wearing. It's Korean War, but the 24th Infantry Division. Okay. So you think of some history that your unit has, your whatever, and you would
mostly dying,
kind of pitch a design. What?
Okay. Mostly dying.
Oh, by the way, I have to preface this, people, tonight. My internet is horseshit. I did speedtest.com for the past 4 days. My average ping is 1,000. So it's going to be horse shit. I'm sorry. It's worse than it usually is. So, but yeah, so that's the history of the unit patch itself, right?
Yeah.
So in World War II, people were getting transferred all the time, and they'd get transferred to a unit, and they'd be like, oh, you're just a fucking, right, you're just a cherry. You don't know, even not in a combat unit, but an administrative unit or overall.
Yeah.
And so somebody, I don't know the exact history, but somebody somewhere got the idea where it's well, this guy actually has experience. And so, they ended up starting to wear patches on their right shoulder to go, well, I served with this unit in combat or in a combat theater of operations for X amount of days. I don't know what it
You'd
was
be
at
like,
that
I'm
point.
not a noob,
But so
basically.
yes.
That's her, I'm not a noob.
And
patch.
so, right. And so they would do that. And then it didn't really take hold. It wasn't like an official thing. And then like in the Korean War, it became an official thing.
Okay, so that's where
It's like,
so it goes back to like historically to World War I. World War II, it's unused. Korea becomes official. Like, that's when it's like, this is a thing now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Like, so if you got a guy that, you know, and it's also the combat patch is a choice. You do not have to wear it.
Oh, okay.
You can just wear whatever unit. Yeah, it's more of a personal award, if that makes sense.
Like I said,
It's
it
not
seems
really
like
an
it's
award.
more
It's
of
just
a sense of personal pride and also like a good conversation starter.
right. And it's like somebody goes, "Oh, you served with this unit. Okay. So you're not totally new. You've been in a combat zone with that unit for at least, well, now is 30 days as a standard.
A
But like,
month,
I don't know what it was. And so Korea, it becomes a thing. And in Vietnam, it was like, that's the gold standard. You did a deployment or you did a tour. And that's when I think, again, I'll make a video on this. I'll do more research, but like, it was 30 days was the standard, like 30 days with a certain unit in a combat zone that you served with. And and if they gave you authorization, it's verbal, it's not even on your discharge papers. If they gave you authorization to wear the patch of that unit that you served in a combat zone with, you were allowed to wear it on your right shoulder. And most guys did, because it's like, well, it's a rite of passage, you know? And again, you go to a different unit and they go,
zone is what I'm reading. That's what they say, 24
Thomas,
hours.
really? When did they do that? Can you send a link to the regulation? Because it was 30 days when I was there in 2009. It was 30 days, and it was like since Vietnam. But that doesn't make fucking sense.
But to be fair, we can shoot
24
minivan
hours, it's not that long.
We can shoot minivan-sized missiles from 1,000 miles away through a window of an apartment building. So that, you know.
Sure. But that's why like combat patches were like coveted. Like you see a guy with a combat patch, you're like, okay,
that guy's seen some shit.
Experience, you know. It's like,
yeah,
30 days is a decent amount of time. It's decent. And so yeah, and then because when I was there, yeah, it was 30 days in a combat zone where you're getting hazardous duty pay. That was the factor. Like,
you had to have hazardous.
You're getting hazardous duty pay. You couldn't
just be like deployed and be like a receptionist.
No. If you're a receptionist but you're getting hazardous duty pay in a combat zone, you wear a combat patch.
Okay.
So yeah, not everyone with a combat patch has combat experience. So and that's why in World War II they came out with
the thing or like a combat arms thing.
Right. That's why in World War II they also came out with the combat infantry badge, the combat medic badge initially, and the combat action badge was a GWAT thing.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're saying. Okay. So yes. So Thomas, when we landed in Kuwait in 2009, they told us to put combat patches on because of our mission. Like, we were dealing with detainees a lot.
But like, you're gonna be here a while.
Everybody
do it while you can.
No, it wasn't even that. It was like when we get there, we want the detainees to think that all these guys are combat vets because they know the uniform better than we do, right?
Oh,
so that was the logic, right? But
yeah,
we had to be there and after 30 days in Iraq, we actually had a ceremony where it's like, even guys that had deployed before with different units and active duty and all that shit, everybody was slick side on the right arm, and we had this like ceremony where our commander came over and put our combat patches on. So 30 days is like the standard.
Okay.
But there are exceptions. Yeah, it's fucking stupid. But like, yeah, if you tell somebody if you're there for 24 hours and you get sent home and you're on an active duty base and they were like, oh, well, where were you at? Well, I was in Kuwait for 24 hours. They're gonna be like, take the fucking patch off. Like, no. So yeah, it's like, no. But yeah, so if you see somebody with a combat patch, it doesn't mean they're combat arms, doesn't mean they saw combat. It's fine, but they were in a combat zone for 30 days. That is the standard.
Okay. Fair. Interesting.
But again, like you said, once you earn that, yeah, whatever unit you go to, like in your military career, yeah, you can wear whatever you want. You can change it every fucking 10 minutes, like I was saying.
But
It
it's
doesn't
only
matter because
for
you've earned that
certain
the right
branches.
to wear that patch.
Like you said with the
Right.
5
So
Marine divisions.
okay. All right. So yeah, that's a weird one. So yeah, like if you go Air Force and then you join the Army,
You can't
no,
wear
you're
an
not
Air
wearing
Force
an Air
patch.
Force combat
It's not
patch
allowed. Okay.
because they don't have them. Like they don't have that kind of thing. But like the Marines do, but they don't. But they do, but they don't. It's just
And the
weird. But
Navy
like
doesn't
so
have anything
again,
like that either?
nope.
Okay.
And so I'm going to use the example again, like it's redundant for you guys, but like, or for you. But so my junior drill sergeant, when he came out and met us the first day of basic training,
Yeah.
he came out, he was an E5, which is a red flag. And I'm like, oh shit. Usually they're E6 or above. And he had a 1st Marine Division combat patch on. He had the Fort Benning follow me with the bayonet, patch as his unit patch back when they did
Okay.
that. And then he had the 1st Marine Division combat patch. And I'm like, oh fuck. This guy was a Marine. And 1st Mardiv, like, and we found out later, like he was in the invasion of Iraq in 2003, and it's like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a dick. But so Marines, I don't know when that happened, but like Marines who get out and then join the Army, but did a combat, 30 days, whatever the criteria is for whatever the hell regulation that is, are authorized to wear their division patch as a combat patch on their right shoulder.
Okay.
There is an exception, which I'll get to in a second. So Marines that deployed, like, so my drill sergeant, 1st Marine Division, he was there for fucking 6 or 7 months in the invasion, then he went home.
Okay.
30 days, meets the criteria. He came back, got out, was out for a couple months, then joined the Army. But he was authorized to wear the 1st Marine Division combat
because
patch.
That's part of the exchange they have, and it's allowed, right?
Yeah. Now, and it's weird.
Do they
but like,
because there's 2 separate uniforms. Does he just wear like a green patch or whatever because the Marines camouflage is different? Or does the Army like literally make gray ones for their uniform? For that like crossover. You know what I mean?
One more time.
So like was a Marine.
No, Marines don't wear patches. No, Marines don't wear patches on their. Yeah.
Okay. So do they make like back when the gray camouflage was a thing? Do they make a gray patch that's a Marine patch for that? Does the Army make Marine patches for their uniform for the Marines that have transferred?
Yes.
Okay, that's kind of lame, but I mean I get it because the Marines don't wear patches, but it's like so the Army is making Marine patches for Army uniforms.
Yes, in very small numbers.
Okay.
And then, so yeah, like I was telling you too, so you got the guys that were Marines and did their thing, and then they switch over to Army, and they're allowed to wear that. And then I've known 2 people that have this ability. Both of them were 2nd Marine Division, where they were Army the whole time, but they were attached directly to a Marine unit in Iraq.
Okay.
Or I'm pretty sure both of them are Iraq, but like this works for Afghanistan too. They were literally under Marine Corps command when they were deployed. They were not under Army command. They were like Army units that were given to the Marine Corps units as bodies, or
yeah,
right. And the Marine Corps divisions authorized them as Army personnel to wear the 2nd Marine Division combat patch indefinitely. They authorized them to do that. It's very rare that happens because it's very rare. But it's rare that an Army unit gets put under Marine command. It's very rare.
Yeah.
But those 2 guys that I met, both of them were 2nd Marine Division, and they wore the 2nd. And I was like, "Oh, you're Marine?" And they're like, "No, I've been Army, but I was." They explained it to me, and it's like that's interesting. That's really
pretty
cool.
interesting. That is pretty interesting.
But 99.9% of the Army guys that you see wearing a Marine Division combat patch, they were Marines before. And they
Okay,
switched to Army.
fair. And the Army makes
So-
patches just for those people, which I find weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find that
Yeah.
really weird.
They
The
don't do a
Army's
lot,
like,
but like,
we make patches for Marines just in case they join the Army.
well, they could probably make like 500 of each total, you know, and just have them sitting there.
Sitting there.
But and a lot of
I
guys,
don't know about you,
I
but the
think,
Army
like,
doesn't make just 500 of anything. There's probably pallets and pallets and pallets of this shit laying around.
right, probably. But
they probably
yeah,
has like, well,
so that's really
we
cool.
don't plan on changing our camouflage for 40 years, so just make 8 pallets of them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So like what I was telling you too, it's you're right. It's a good conversation starter because when I was in Kuwait going home on leave, I saw this, like, he wasn't old, but he was like probably at that time like 40 or 45.
God,
Somewhere
that
in there.
guy's older than dirt.
This sergeant, this E5.
Yeah.
Right, but like he was wearing a 9th Infantry Division combat patch, which is a unit that hasn't existed since 1992, right? But I recognized the patch because I was a history nerd.
Storm,
And I was right. Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Hey, Sergeant, I like your 9th Infantry Division patch. Where were you with them?" He's like, "Oh, Desert Storm," and I'm like, "Oh, right on, cool." So, but he was authorized. Like, combat patches are for life.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
That's it. Like, you. And so, okay, I'll give you an example too. Is that squad leader or the platoon sergeant that I told you about that was SF for fucking ever, who deployed with? I mean, he deployed so many times. He had like 14 combat patches he was authorized to wear.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but he always wore the electric butter knife with the airborne. Like, he was like,
The
that was
electric
SF. I loved it. That was what I liked. So
wait, what's
yeah,
the
a lot of,
electric
and like,
butter
so
knife?
my dad, they were a special forces patch, the bayonet with the fucking 3 lightning bolts through it.
Is it like the blue and yellow one?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, I'm trying to remember which one it is because I'm like, don't all the special forces patches basically have knives on them?
Nope. Well, special forces, yes. There's also Special Operations Command, which is in Fort Bragg.
Okay.
And that's an arrowhead with a different kind of knife, but it doesn't have the lightning bolts through it. But yes, it's
right. So that's the blue and yellow one. That's like the classic one.
yes.
Yes.
That is the Special Forces, the U.S. Army Special Forces, Green Berets. That's their fucking patch, right?
Fair.
And so what was funny is when we were in Texas and we were doing training, we were doing detainee ops training. So we were walking around a mock thing, and one of the guys that was running the thing comes up to our sergeant, and he goes, "Sergeant, you can't be wearing the Special Forces combat patch." And he goes, I mean, this guy's a big dude too. Like, he's like 6'3" and built. And he looks down at his patch. He goes, "Why the fuck not?" He goes, "Well, it's too aggressive. If the detainees identify that patch, like, they're gonna go nuts." And he looks and he goes, Are you serious right now?" Like,
you know, it's a piece of
"Yes,
fabric,
Sergeant,
right?
I'm very serious." Right. And he goes, "Oh, okay." He made a big deal of it. It was fucking great. This guy, when he gets pissed, it was fucking great. It takes a lot to get this guy pissed off, but he was like, "Oh, okay, yep, fine, whatever you say." So he comes back the next day and he wears his 101st Airborne combat
I was gonna
patch,
say, does he just have like another one that's equally as aggressive he puts on there? Yeah.
Yep. And so he so he wears his 101 patch, and they just looked at him and he's like, "Oh, is this too aggressive for you?" You know, he's just like, so. But the funny thing is, like, I heard this going on, like, the initial conversation. I heard it, and I'm like, "Oh God, is he gonna kill this guy?" God, no. He was getting pissed. And I'm like, "Oh, please." But he just went, "Oh, okay, too aggressive, I guess. Yeah, too aggressive. You're right there, Sergeant. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right." And this guy was a major in the Special Forces, and then he retired and then joined the fucking Guard again. This is how hardcore this guy is, right? And so he's like, "Oh, okay, yep, you're right, Sergeant." So he comes with this 101 patch on, and then it was this big deal. So every time I saw him from, like, in the deployment, like when I saw him in Iraq and shit, I'd be like, "Hey, Sergeant Waz," I'm like, "you're being really aggressive with that patch," and he's like, "Too aggressive!" Just screaming it. Like, it was
You're
just
being too aggressive with that patch. Oh, I thought the gun was more aggressive.
Fuck. Right. Yeah. The gun that he's holding, and like the fact that he's got, and this guy, like, so Waz had a CIB second award, so he's got a CIB with a star above it, right? Which
Okay.
means 2 separate major conflicts, right?
Okay.
So it's like, World War II was a conflict, right? That qualifies for a combat infantry badge. Korea was the next. Vietnam was the next. The 80s, like kind of whatever, up through Desert Storm was the next bracket. And then,
Yeah.
fucking global war on terrorism was the next. Well, he was in Desert Storm with Special Forces,
Okay.
got his combat infantry badge in Desert Storm, and then went to Iraq in
Got a second
2007 or
one.
6, right before I got into the unit. Yeah, got in combat again as an infantryman, so he got his CIB second award, so he had a star above it. Master parachutist, Pathfinder, fucking Halo Freefall. I mean, this guy's got like every fucking badge. His whole chest couldn't take it, right?
But his patch is too aggressive.
And his patch is too aggressive.
I don't know. If I saw a guy with that much shit on his chest, I'd be like, well, that's what I'm really worried about. So,
right. Well, it was just, but it was so fun. And so at the end of the deployment, I was telling a story on Discord the other night. So my buddy and I and my team leader bought a fobbit tab. So it said fobbit, but it was like a ranger tab, like in that shape.
Yeah.
Like an airborne tab, like, so but it said fobbit on it, right?
Yeah.
And so one day in Kuwait, after I finally got there, I was wearing, above my combat patch, I was wearing the fobbit tab. And Waz comes over to me, the guy we're talking about, and he goes, fobbit, too aggressive. You gotta take that off. You gotta take that off.
You gotta take that. Oh god.
Oh, we were laughing so fucking. We were crying. It was so fucking funny. And but yeah, it's just a stupid.
Well, what's a fobbit?
It's got so political. Somebody that never left the fob a day in theater.
Oh, so it's just a guy who stayed on the base?
Yep.
Okay, fair. That makes sense. Like a hobbit, but for the fob.
It usually has a more exactly. It usually has a more negative connotation, like the people that, like you said, had admin jobs that like they went to an AC, building every day and did their thing. And
well, I mean, to be fair, I want the guy that's
exposed.
doing all the drone strike coordination to be as comfortable and relaxed as possible.
Well, they're in Nevada then. Go look from there.
Yeah, well, if they flick their wrists the wrong way, that's a lot of people that just disappear off the face of the planet. So,
right, but it was funny because, like, even though I was a fobbit, like, whatever, shit went down there because of where we were at, and like, I'll make videos about this shit and like exactly what happened. But again, being a fobbit is not fun for indirect fire.
No.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, being a fobbit for indirect fire is not good because it's like they know exactly where you're at.
Well, yeah, if you're doing the same
whatever, but anyway,
every day, the military really likes their routines. If you're doing the same thing every day and you got a lot of people in the same place doing the same thing every day.
Yep. But anyway, so that's kind of like, but anyway, yeah. So he was authorized, and so when we got black, we were at a demob, right, and we were at the PX, and we were just kind of like, my buddy and I were standing in the patch section for whatever reason, and we were looking through.
Do they sell all these patches? I suppose if you could buy uniforms there, you have to buy patches too.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're just kind of sitting there, and I'm like, because I love unit patches, I always have, and I'm just looking, and I'm like, oh, cool. Well,
you didn't just buy like one of every one and one of those big Velcro sheets to like throw on the wall.
I should have, but like, so I'm just kind of like blanking out, and Wallace goes, "How are you doing? How's it going?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey, pretty good, Sergeant Watson." And I just asked him, I'm like, "How many of these patches are you authorized to wear on your right shoulder?" And he's like, "Oh, let me see here. That one,
I just
that
imagine
one, that
this
one,
like gigantic hieroglyphic wall of.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And he's going through. He's like, that one, and it's like 15. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm like, okay, got it.
This
but
is
he had
like,
been in
like, well, I bought some new uniforms, and it's time to get patches for him. And he goes up to pay for them, and it's like triple digits just buying patches.
But there's something to be said that, like, he's authorized to wear 15 combat patches, and he wears the one that makes him feel the best,
Yeah.
like the most proud. He always wore the
most
electric
one.
butter knife with the airborne trap. Yeah, exactly. He always wore that.
Fair.
I mean, yeah, a couple times he was wearing the 101 patch, but like,
yeah.
he liked that because it pissed the guy off. Because this guy was a fucking
Yeah.
douche that called him out on that. It's like, God. Yeah,
Hey,
but
the
yeah,
Army's got
but yeah, it was kind of a
culture
joke
just
between.
like everywhere else. So,
But it was cool to like me and him had an inside joke the whole deployment, and nobody else fucking knew about it. And so when I'd see him, I'd be like, "Too aggressive," and he's like, he just shouted. He was a loud dude, like he's like, "Too aggressive," shouting it out into the air. And I'd be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Shaking hands and shit, like talking. And even to this day, if I were to go up to him, I'd be like, "You're too aggressive. I can't. Too aggressive." He'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll back off."
Sorry, this is a safe space.
He's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
this is a safe space.
Yeah, but no, he also, dude, he was awesome, not just because of that, but like he was one of those guys that he had all this experience, but he taught even the newest, most annoying 18-year-olds. He's like, all right, let's go out here and we're gonna stay up a little bit later. We're gonna learn some stuff that they're not gonna teach you. Yep, they're not gonna teach you this because it's not part of your training, but we're gonna learn above and beyond your training. And so I learned a lot of really cool shit from him.
Fair.
A lot of really cool shit.
Did he have the secret to make UCP work better?
No, he was one of those guys where I was passionate about something, like especially the uniform, and I'm like, dude, this uniform. He goes, his solution was, he goes, well, here's the thing, you got dealt a shit hand, you got to make it work. You're an infantryman, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Play that blue and reverse card and get out there.
Right, exactly. He's like, you got to make it work. You got to make it work. And so that picture I sent you guys, like of us standing or sitting, some guys were standing, I was kneeling, where we had our faces painted in like really weird colors.
Like
that was a joke. Because he orchestrated an exercise that was a literal search and destroy. Like 2 guys were selected, each 2 hours or whatever you had time period, because we were bored and everybody else was sleeping. But he's like, no, we're gonna go out and do stuff. And I'm like, well, okay, but at least we're learning something. So it was like, you 2 guys, you have 15 minutes to go out and hide. Okay. And that's what I told him. I'm like, we're wearing this. We're not gonna be able to hide. He goes, you just gotta adapt. You gotta make it work. He's like, paint your face. Paint your face if you need to. And so we did. And that whole day we did that. That was, the picture was taken like the end of the day. And we all painted our faces. And dude, we were the only group that didn't get spotted.
That's fantastic.
Me and this other new guy, like we had out, and I'm like, okay, well, this is obviously not going to fucking work. Oh wait, there's the thickest shit we could possibly find. We're gonna go crawl into that and just sit there while they walk by us, and we're gonna hope that they just walk by us.
Yeah,
we walk. That was the time that like we're crawling through. This isn't training. This isn't Iraq, for fuck's sake. But like we're crawling through this like really thick, tick-ridden fucking shit.
This heavy underbrush. Yeah.
Yep. And so we're crawling through, and all of a sudden, my hand hits a very solid thing. I'm like, oh, a rock, and I'm just gonna push it out of the way. I push some mud off, and there's a big blue thing about that long sitting in front of me, shaped like a cone. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a 155 training round. And I'm like, is this gonna blow up? Like, what do they do?
No, it's a training round. It's
so I got all paranoid. I'm like, yeah, but like I didn't know that. And then so I told the new guy, I'm like, because he immediately when I looked over, I'm like, and then he goes, pointing down, and I'm like, it's a training round. We'll deal with it later. Don't touch it. Just go around it. Because I didn't know at that point. I didn't know what they did. Like, if they
didn't know that it's not going to go off,
or they just
yeah,
right. And so I crawl around this thing. So we lay in this big thick patch of shit, and all of a sudden the rest of the fucking squad's coming out. So we got another 10 guys out, and they're right in front of us, and I'm like, shh, just stay low. So I just kind of bury my head in the dirt, and I'm watching them, and they grab their rifles, and they're like kind of moving the reeds to the side, but I'm like, no, we're in here. I'm like, just shh. And he just stays still. I stay still. We're wearing UCP, by the way, against mud and green reeds. And they walk by us. They just keep walking. And all of a sudden you hear 20 minutes later, you hear, Index! He calls end of exercise. Index! Yeah. So we all get up. We made it back before all the rest of the guys did. And he's like, did they find you? And I'm like, nope. They come back about 10 minutes later. Like, Sergeant Waz, we didn't find them. And they're like, we're sitting there, and they're like, where the fuck were you guys? And I'm like, I'm not telling. No fucking way.
I was humping this 155 shell, and yes.
Right, and then I told him, I'm like, Sergeant Waz, we found some UXOs, the 155s, they're out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that gonna be an issue? He's like, no, they're. Well, he's like, what color were they? I'm like, they're blue, and he's like, they're training rounds. Just leave it.
It's just a solid, chunk.
Yeah, but I didn't know if so.
So
the next group goes out. Right, but they were really heavy, and it was.
Well, yeah, they weigh
and then it started raining, and then so we go out the next time, and it's me and the same guy that we're hiding before, and we're looking for the two guys, and we immediately go for the fucking reed patch, and we're like, we didn't tell anybody else because we're like, we don't want to ruin it for anybody. Yeah, and we go in there, and we're looking, and we're like, okay, they're not in here. All right, cool. And then all of a sudden we stumble on, and they're just laying out in a kind of a ditch, but not really. And I'm like, there you are, get the fuck up. It was a good exercise though. It was okay, we're wearing this really shitty camouflage, really shitty. It doesn't even work, but make it work, And so we did.
Yeah, you got to use the environment to your advantage. It was a learning experience. That's why I love raspberry bushes.
Yeah.
Nobody else likes to walk through those. So if you just throw yourself in the middle of a bunch of raspberry bushes, those fuckers. God,
that was the day too. We were out searching for the. Dude, no, listen to this. So we're out on the next group. We were out looking, and we were walking kind of in a different spot, and all of a sudden I just kind of get that sense I shouldn't step here, and I look, and there's an animal sitting below me, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's moving, and it's kind of very small. It's a fucking porcupine.
Oh yeah, don't fuck around with those.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's really cute, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, where's your mom? Oh god, no.
You're about to get charged by a dude, very large spiked animal.
Right. And I'm like, that's not gonna happen. I've seen Homeward Bound. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah. Chance gets hit in the face and he fucking, almost dies. And I'm just I told my buddy, I'm like, don't go anywhere near here. There's a porcupine. And then so we're sitting there, we're like, oh fuck, we're not looking for people anymore. We're looking for a porcupine that's charging us. I'm like, let's just get the fuck out of here, and then we'll tell them when we get back. And so that was because it's like a bear. You find a little bear, and you're like, oh, that's really cute. And then oh fuck, no. Where's this, mom?
They don't have any predators because they know nothing's going to be dumb enough to attack them. So they could be
right, but if they think,
yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, and
they're mean.
And they're big. I knew growing up here, I'm
how fucking big they are. They're big,
and they can move. Yeah. They can move, and they will fuck you up.
And the only thing you have over them is they're so fucking dopey. Because how their head is and stuff, and how they do their defense, where they tuck their head up, they can't see very well. They're really dopey, so you could use that to your advantage. But
I could have probably outrun it. To be honest.
They're pretty slow,
shape as I was. But no, they can move though. That's the thing is and I was but I could even outrun it. But it's I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to be paranoid about having a fucking rabid fucking porcupine. Smell my blood, smell my piss on the ground, when I saw it. I don't want to deal with that. So, but no, it was but we also
needles go through anything. They'll go through leather boots. They'll go through clothing. They'll go through a lot.
Well, that's the thing. And they don't come out without hurting because they're barbed.
Yeah, they have this weird thing where they go in, and so when a porcupine its spine or needle or whatever you call it comes out, its quill, that's what it's called, a quill comes out, there's this this chemical reaction that happens where it forces all of those little barbs to come out. So what they have to do in order to remove one of those, if it's like stuck into you, is they have to put this kind of like acid into the quill that neutralizes it, that causes those spines to like curl back so they can pull it out. Or if it's all the way through, they slide it through the long way so the barbs don't
like an arrow
tear you on the way out. They're bad. Porcupines are bad.
Yeah, like an arrowhead. Yeah, there's no winning. Bottom line, there's no winning with a fucking porcupine. Like you just don't fuck with it. Don't fuck with nature. Right. Don't fuck with nature.
That's why I say the American national animal should actually be a porcupine. They're dumb as fuck, but they're mean as hell.
Are they in any like Europe? Are they in Europe or Asia?
They're in Africa. There's
I don't know.
Bigger ones in Africa, but they're actually related to like echidna, which is in Australia. They're the same type of animal. So they're all over in Asia.
But so they actually have legitimate
Africa. Yeah.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have any like in Europe.
So why should it be our national animal?
Huh? Because there's the North American porcupine, which is basically in Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of porcupine.
So how are they different though?
Well,
like bigger, sure, but like are they as lethal?
Subspecies. Like there's like tons of different kinds of rabbit and different kinds of deer. You know, they're all deer, but they're from different places and different environments.
But are they as lethal and painful?
Well, the African ones are probably the most dangerous because they can actually shoot their spines out by flexing certain muscles in their body. They can shoot their spines, and they're bigger than the American ones.
Yeah.
But the American ones are probably the second largest, and they can't shoot their spines though, like the African ones can.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're all like really dopey, but
they're still
the best part is like they'll walk around just like through lions and stuff to be like, "Fuck you, do something about it." Yeah, and they kill maple trees because they like maple trees because they're sweet.
Dr. Luckner here on the stream, so
they're fuck around and find out. Fuck with that's the animal of fuck around and find out. That's the living embodiment of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good.
They're funny though. I like porcupines. They're funny. I love when people hit them with their cars and their tires pop. It's like, well, you hit this giant fucking porcupine.
Yeah.
Don't be a dumbass next time and pay attention while you're driving.
I've heard they're actually good eating too.
Yeah, they are pretty good eating. So they're not bad. They're really kind of gamey though. They're almost they almost kind of stink. You know what I mean? They almost have like this musk to the meat.
Yeah.
They almost
like goat.
stink.
Like
goat. Yeah, it stinks. Yeah. It's like a very like acidic kind of almost slightly rotten even when it's fresh kind of meat. But exactly. They're good eating, but you got to get past a couple things, like mostly the spines. I haven't seen many of those on the road though recently, which is kind of nice.
Me either. They're everywhere up here. Oh, the other night, oh my god. The other night I woke up because the windows were open because it's finally fucking nice out at night.
It's nice out, yeah.
And I woke up because a skunk was near. That's how you know it's spring.
Smell it. Yeah.
That's how you know it's spring, and it was strong. Like it was close.
Well, they do that.
And so the weasel horse got let out.
This is the time they're looking to start making them babies. So.
Yep. And it's like, if I ever saw a skunk, I'm just gonna walk the other way.
Yeah.
I've been they won't chase you. They're not aggressive.
Like in arm's length away. Haven't been sprayed yet. Thankfully haven't been sprayed. But I've been like alarmingly close to it.
You really have to scare them. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm just gonna freeze up.
You really have to scare them.
You do you, buddy. Oftentimes, if you just freeze up and let them kind of go on their way, you're fine.
Yep, and walk away, you're good. Yep.
Yep, just let them do
they
their
spray
thing.
you when they they spray you when they feel like they're fucked, and it's
Yeah,
like,
that's a last resort. They don't
no,
want to do that
you're not.
either. So.
Yep, you're not fucked. You're not fucked. It's all right, bud. Just stay.
Yeah. Well, the
And they're
thing is,
big
they don't
too.
want
Like
to do
for
that because it takes them a few days to build up their
yep,
their state gland juice again. So if they would need it again,
yep.
they have to wait 2 or 3 days in order to have that. They can't just do it all the time. So,
But yeah,
but
it was fucking. It was probably right here in the backyard. Like it was
it was pretty rough.
really
We were like,
close,
"Oh God, he's
and
close."
it was
Yeah.
like, oh boy.
Now, are you like me?
Yep,
Where
I
like
had
when
to
you're
close the
driving by
windows.
on
I'm
the
like,
road,
God damn.
now when you're driving by like on a road, do you almost kind of like that smell to a degree for like because you know it's gonna be for just a
No,
second? Oh no, like
no,
I'll be driving down the road and I'm like, oh, somebody hit a skunk, and I'll be like, you get a couple good whiffs
no.
in, you're like, all right,
I've got
that's enough.
I've got some some memories of, well, a memory. I was driving to school in like 2014 or some shit, and I had my shitty Volkswagen Jetta, and
That's a great car. What are you
I
talking about?
smelled the skunk, and I'm like, it was also a really foggy morning, like really fucking foggy. So it was in like
Mm,
the spring, like
it's
this time, but it was
heavy
like
in the
it
air,
had just
yeah.
rained, but it was cold. It was like really
Uh,
foggy. And so I'm going 55 down the highway, the county highway, and all of a sudden I smell the skunk, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I'm like, whatever. And all of a sudden, the dead skunk that had just been hit is right in the center of the lane in front of me. There's fog. I see headlights, beaming through this lane. I'm like, well, not going to go that way. Not going to go in the ditch. I'm going 55.
yeah.
And so I just went, I'm going to center the car. Hopefully it'll clear it. Well, a Volkswagen Jetta sits really low.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of
And
ground clear.
I just hear, and I see in the rear view, like it was spraying everywhere. And all of a sudden, the actual
It
smell
permeates
hit, like
through
the
your car.
actual, like,
Yeah. Oh,
it's like you have 1,000 rotting onions, some garlic
yeah.
mixed in there, and piss that's been fermenting for a week,
Yeah.
and you combine it into one putrid fucking, and it just, my whole
Oh,
fucking
and it
car smelled
sticks
like
to
skunk
everything.
for a
God.
month.
Yeah, it sticks
Oh
to
yeah,
everything.
my clothes. I walked into class, and I hit a skunk. You're gonna smell it. They're like, oh, it's not a big deal. And I walked in and I sat down. They're like, eh. Oh god. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yep. It happened,
Ugh.
and
Ugh.
yeah.
That's a bit much. No, I
And it was
want the
already
ones that
it
are
was
like
already dead, but it was
a week old on the road. That's about as much skunk as I want to smell. That's about it.
yeah. It was like burning my nose. My eyes were watering. It's like,
Yeah,
fuck,
fresh skunk is rough.
you
That's
know.
bad. That'll
Oh,
get you.
and it had just been hit. It had just been hit. You could
Like
tell.
probably that morning, probably a
It's like,
couple minutes
oh,
before you drove over it. Yeah. Oh.
exactly. And like I didn't have an option. Like at that point, I'm like, I'm not gonna go to the other lane because there's a car coming. And it's
Yeah.
probably a truck, and I'm driving a Jetta, and I'm not gonna win that one.
No.
And so it's like, oh, I'll just take the hit. It can't be that bad, right? And then and I'm like, oh fuck.
Famous
And then
last words. It can't be that bad.
oh
Yeah.
god.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was fucking nasty. Like, oh Jesus Christ. Like
Yeah, that's rough.
everybody that I
It's rough.
walked by that day was like, oh, something smells like a skunk. And I'm like, yeah, I hit one this morning.
Yeah. So,
And
but have you ever hit like any animals in your car, like alive animals?
yeah, yeah. So the only and first confirmed kill that my Jeep has is a possum,
Mm.
a
Did you
big
go
one,
out of your way to
a
hit
big
it,
one. It was
or
like, no, I didn't go out
oh,
of my way to not hit it, but like I was like, I don't like possums, but like you can turn around, you have plenty of time. Oh, you're not. Oh, you're gonna go. You're gonna commit to the lane and stop right there. You have a death wish.
yeah,
And in my Jeep, all I hear is dunk. And I felt a little bit of whatever. I saw shit
yeah.
flying everywhere in the rear view, and
Oh
it
god,
was it wasn't even twitching. It wasn't even twitching. I brained it. It was done.
yeah.
But I'm like, you know what, possums. I really don't care because you guys are fucking disgusting.
Hmm. I think I've
So,
only ever hit one animal too, and so I was driving, and it's like pretty late in the evening, so it's like sun setting, but it's still like light out,
yep,
orange. I'm just driving along. I'm like half asleep, just trying to get home.
yep.
Been a long day at work, and then boom, bunch of feathers. Shit goes rolling over the fucking windshield. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And I absolutely this like tall grass on either side of the ditch. Okay, pheasant comes
Yep.
just flying out like 8 inches off the ground.
Oh,
Smoke this fucking pheasant, and it's just feathers, and it's rolled over the top of the car. And I'm like, well, now my
yeah,
front end
yeah,
is
it's
going to be
fucked.
fucked. A pheasant's a large bird, and all it did was just bent my license plate. I hit it perfectly with like the license plate, and I
Yeah,
sucked a
you're
shit
lucky
ton of
because
feathers into the grill. But
birds will fuck your car up.
yeah,
Like
they will.
turkeys,
Shit.
if you
Yeah,
hit a
I've
full
always
size
turkeys
turkey
are
or a
fucking
big
big.
goose,
I don't think people realize how fucking big turkeys are.
well, and geese, like really big geese.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're not
dude.
even
So
afraid of
remember
cars
the
half the
diner we went up
time.
to? The diner we went up to when you were here?
Yeah.
And so we went up there a couple of weeks ago, and we're walking in, and there's literally a goose standing guard, I guess, in front of the front door, like the only way in there. And I'm like,
Were you
okay.
like,
So we
were
stop.
you like, I know what this is gonna be, or are you like, we're throwing down right now, Goose?
Yes, both. Like
Both.
I'm like, okay. So then I went like this. I went like this and like went up to it, didn't move. And all of a
No,
sudden
they
I
don't give a
realized I'm
shit.
like, this goose
Yeah.
has one leg. But this goose has one leg.
Oh.
It's standing on one leg right outside the door, and I'm like, okay, okay. So I'm walking and I just get near it and I open up the door and I'm looking at it. Doesn't care. We walk in and I'm like, I wonder, like being up here, I wonder if that's somebody's pet they left
I
outside
mean,
while they're
it would
eating
not surprise
in
me
this
with
diner.
Wisconsin. If some guy's like, all right, Goose, stay out here, you know?
That's what I mean.
It's
Like I was like, well,
amazing
maybe it's a
that you
pet
got
because
that close to it though, without it doing anything. Because normally, like wild ones, you can get
I
pretty
was that.
damn close to wild
Yep.
ones, but they'll get
Well,
that one.
I think this was dude. This is a wild one, I guarantee you, because like
Okay,
whatever, but like, but it had
it didn't
one
give you the
leg.
hiss.
It was just standing. It was standing. Nope, nothing. It looked at me a little bit and then it looked back, and I was like, "You've seen too much, son." I was gonna pat it
Yeah,
on the head, but then that would have been the time I got bit, you know.
yeah, it would have
So
snapped at you like a
yeah,
snake. Yeah, so,
yeah. Don't want to get bit by a goose. That does not feel good.
no, they hurt. They
So
pinch. It's like getting pinched by players. Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
hate
not
goose so
fun.
much.
Like as a kid, we used to fuck with them, you know, like when we were kids, we would go to like this little place that's got a somewhat beach. It's a pond beach, so it's like 10 feet wide, you know, it's not really a
Yeah,
beach, but there'd be geese and we'd fuck with them. Like we'd go up and be like, rah, rah, rah. And I got bit by one on my hand, like right here. And I'm like,
yeah,
ah, and this fucking thing is flapping its wings and it's like hissing while it's biting. And I'm like, what the fuck? And it finally lets go. And I was bleeding. And I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah,
What? No way. Like, ouch. It hurt
yeah.
so
My
bad.
boss,
It was like,
he's
and
like,
their jaws have a lot of strength.
yeah. And my boss is like, "Oh, I could take one of those." So I was like, "Well, there's a whole big
Nope.
cornfield like right by the warehouse, and we're driving past it one day after getting lunch." And I'm like, "Well, just how about we stop right here and just go try walking up to one?" And this is like just after they had all their babies, right there in the cornfield. And he's like, "I could
Oh,
take one of
God.
those." I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh yeah,
no.
just go walk up to one."
Nope.
He's like, "What do you mean?" He expected me to be like, "I bet you could take it." I'm like, "No, go walk right up to one. Prove me wrong. Go do it." And he hasn't yet. I'm like, "Come on, man." I'm like, I'll go
You're not
walk
going to
up to one.
win.
I'm gonna get the shit beat out of me, but I'll go do it. So he won't even go
It's not
walk
going to be
out there.
pretty.
No, I'm like, I'll
Yeah,
go
it's not
walk
going to be
out there.
pretty.
You don't
Like,
need.
it's going to be
Oh
rough.
yeah,
It's like,
true.
oh God. Like
That's
geese
and
are
that's what
they're
the T
fucking
Rex evolved
mean.
into. Right there. That's it.
Yep.
Did
Yep,
you hear
for
that
sure.
scientists? I don't like dinosaurs or anything like that, but I like to read about them. Scientists believe
Yep.
that. So now I will never watch um, Jurassic Park the same ever again because scientists have deduced that the T Rex actually would have gobbled like a turkey rather than roared. I'm like, that just makes
These
Jurassic
people are
Park
making
so much more lame. You know, where it like roars at the car and it's just like a big low turkey gobble.
these fucking people are actually making money, a lot of good money,
Yeah.
coming up with this hyperbolic bullshit. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do we know, besides the skeletons they found, okay? Besides the skeletons they found, maybe they were skin and bones too. Like,
Well, yeah.
maybe they
They
weren't
also
these
said they're
big
not
giant
actually like
fucking
green or
reptiles.
anything. They could have been like purple.
Well, that's an old thing. Yeah, like they knew
Yeah.
that.
And I was like, but like they're like,
It's
oh
like,
no, it's supposed to gobble like a turkey because it's actually like more closely related to birds than it is to a lot of lizards nowadays. So
right, but here's the thing is too, like the T-Rex only existed for a short amount of time that we know.
very
Like,
short amount of time, and it
the
wasn't even
Allosaurus,
actually
though,
the alpha predator.
The Allosaurus, though, which is a smaller version of the T-Rex, existed for a long time, and it wasn't that big, but it was
No.
fucking aggressive and it was mean.
Yeah.
You know,
And it gobbles like a turkey.
I don't give a shit if it gobbles like a turkey. If it's got that many fucking teeth and it's that
It's a big ass
strong,
lizard still, yeah.
I'm probably not gonna fuck with it.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So I don't know about
give a
you.
shit.
I don't want to
It can-
fuck with
it
a
can
turkey
speak-
nowadays. Let alone a
dude,
turkey with
see,
giant
here's the
teeth.
thing. The best rule of living I ever received, it was in the military. It was, don't fuck with the wildlife.
Well, no
And
shit.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but that was deeper than I initially thought. Like, don't fuck with the wildlife. Like, just don't
You're like
do
a
it.
fourth, but it means like everything, like snakes, bugs, everything. Just leave it alone. All the tiny
Everything.
stuff.
Just
Just leave it alone. Yeah.
Unless it attacks you, don't fuck with the wildlife.
Yeah, and you'll
Just leave it
live a lot
alone.
longer. You'll live a lot longer.
Yeah. Go away. Like, live and let live. It's like, okay, you look scary or you don't look scary, but I'm still not going to fuck with you. Like,
That's
you
right.
do you.
That's right. You do you, and I'll do me, and we won't do each other.
Well, I guess it's really no fun.
No, but I don't like turkeys or large birds or anything. Not a fan.
No, it's you're literally fighting a dinosaur. You're
Yeah,
literally all
exactly.
birds are dinosaurs.
Yeah, they are.
It's like, okay, so would you go lock fucking horns with a fucking crocodile or an alligator? No.
No, fuck
So why
that.
the fuck would you lock horns with a turkey?
That thing's been like the perfect killing machine for like a gajillion years. So you know what I
Not
mean?
perfect, but
you know, look at
if
how
humans
little
can
they
kill it,
change
it's not
other than
perfect.
size for like ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing is like it's people were like, you know what I said? Like, would you wrestle an alligator? No. Well, would you wrestle a goose? Oh, fuck yeah. I'm like, no,
No.
wrong answer, bud.
No,
Wrong
no, I
answer.
don't want to wrestle any animal. So problem is geese fly.
Jesus Christ.
Alligators are like by water and stuff. Geese can be anywhere. They'll take down a 747.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So the goose will take down a goddamn 747. I'd like to see a crocodile do that.
Okay, so oh god. So let's talk about the velociraptors, right? And they were only like 3 feet tall, like the skeletons have shown that.
Yeah.
However, wolves are only about 3 feet tall, tops.
I'm not dealing with either of those.
Here's
I don't
the
want to
thing
deal with that at all.
No, if you find like 10 or 15 fucking velociraptors, even though they're little, are you gonna be like, oh, they're little, fuck it, I can do this? Or you find 10 or 15 wolves around you, oh fuck it, I can do this. They're all little. No, you're fucked. Run.
Yeah.
Get the fuck away.
I'm not dealing with that. No. Climb that tree and wait.
No. Right, until you get shit like geese that can fly and kill
Yeah,
you in the tree.
you can't hide from them. They'll go anywhere.
You know?
So,
oh, fucking things. Fucking things.
Yeah. They're the perfect killing machine. That's what the T-Rex evolved into. Fucking goose.
Well, but there were birds around during when the T-Rex existed. So
True, that's fair. That is fair.
who knows?
Just imagine though, Jurassic Park, but when the T-Rex lets out its really famous roar, it's just a honk.
I would not give two shits or a flying fuck what came out of its mouth as far as sound. I'd be like, we're gonna need a bigger gun,
We're gonna need a bigger gun
or a bigger spear, or whatever the fuck.
I think we just gotta.
I mean, I hit it with a fucking 45-70 minimum.
I say we set the whole island on fire. It's far enough away. Nuke it.
You know what's funny? A lot of dinosaur fossils are being found in like the Dakotas, like western South Dakota, Wyoming,
well, yeah,
Montana.
the whole Midwest was a giant inland sea at one point and stuff. So like that's about where water would come up to. So
nope, it's incorrect because the oil there suggests that it's been a very, very lush, like jungle, almost rainforest environment for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And when you get oil, it's not like people are like oil is dinosaurs. Well, partially kind of, but like it's like saying, okay, the Everglades, like it's mostly just aquatic life.
Yeah.
So
it's
fish,
a lot of plants.
Mostly plants.
Yeah.
Decayed. They got preserved underneath some kind of layer of whatever and just decayed and sat there. And it's like, well, it's technically kind of dinosaurs, but it's really just plants and other shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, plants are still dinosaurs.
But
you should have seen how big the Venus flytraps were back in the dinosaur times.
When the carbon dioxide levels were really high? Yeah.
Yeah, that's back when dragonflies were like the size of, they were like 3.5 feet long.
Yeah, because everything thrived because there was so much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and in the environment that plants were just huge.
Gigantic.
And all the life that fed off of them was like over fucking fed. Familiar, right? And they got so big and everything was just fucking massive.
Fair.
So,
but there's too much carbon dioxide in the air, Mike. Soon life will cease to exist.
I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I'm not either.
Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't.
Fair.
Like, maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. But here's the thing: is like if everybody that's an expert was right, we've been past the point of no return for a lot of years now, and it's like, hey,
fair. Humanity's got to get past.
If we're fucked. We're fucked.
Society's got to get past the point where we're still at that point in time where I think every, whether you believe in aliens or not, very few societies don't make it past the stage where they have the ability to destroy their entire race, basically, we're still in that stage. We got to figure that out.
It's really never been that way.
What?
But it's never actually like in recorded history. It's never.
I know, but if you look at theoretically, if aliens existed, they believe that most cultures on other planets would not make it past the phase where they have the ability to destroy themselves. For one reason.
That's all hyperbolic speculation.
Yeah, fair.
And the aliens thing is like, do I believe we're the only form of life in the entire universe? No,
there's bacteria on Mars.
I'm not
there we go.
Right, but here's the thing: is like, for whatever reason, we were put out here to exist as life forms, and I don't think that humans, as the dominant species on Earth temporarily, it's phase, I don't think that we've ever been to the point before where we can actually say that we can wipe our entire being out and actually affect the Earth.
I mean, we got a lot of nukes.
I don't think we've ever been. That's what I mean.
We got a lot of nukes.
Yep, it's like, but that's all. Here's the thing: is like we do that, we die off. A lot of other wildlife dies off.
Stuff will be fine. Stuff will be fine.
It's a right, but it's a catastrophe because it's a paradigm shift, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Earth will still move on.
Yeah, fair.
We can't destroy the Earth. We can destroy a lot of life on Earth,
Yeah.
but we can't destroy Earth.
Well,
We're not
don't
there
give
yet.
humanity a goal, Mike. Humanity will find a way to destroy the Earth.
Oh, there's plenty of fucking retard billionaires, trillionaires that are trying to figure out, let's just implode the Earth. Let's just fucking end it, create a black hole.
Yep.
And they still can't. It's a come on.
Let's just pull the moon,
Like, really, we're not
crash
even
into
close.
the Earth, and it'll be great.
Fucking, I think it's just best. Like Trailer Park Boys. Listen, Ran, it's just a matter of time before this all goes shit. I think it's just best to end her, bud.
Just best to end her, yeah. Oh,
yep.
God.
It's like, well, you can't because we're not there. We think we're so much more powerful than the Earth. Like, people really do. I don't, but like, people do. And it's like, well, you're not. We're not. We're pretty pitiful.
Yeah.
We're really pitiful existences.
Mother Nature can still send
like,
us the
you don't
way
realize
of the dinosaurs.
Well, dinosaurs still exist, though.
Yeah, there's geese. I see them.
So it's like, yeah, they're fucked up. But you know what I mean? Like, it's you could have a catastrophe. You could have an asteroid hit the fucking Earth and wipe out. I think the Gulf of Mexico is actually the impact site, but hey, no scientific evidence whatsoever. That's my opinion.
That's what a lot of people seem to think. Yeah.
I think the Gulf of Mexico was the actual impact zone, which is why it took life so long to come back to this continent and the South American continent. I think it was that big.
It makes a lot of sense, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I do think something catastrophic happened. I don't think it was made by humans because that's fucking stupid.
Yeah, the Ice Age.
But I think something did happen where well, yeah. But it like fucked the world over for it fucked the world over for like a long time. We're talking like a couple million years, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking like, but in our lifetime, it's like, oh, it's a long time. Well, now the Earth is
in the grand scheme of things,
bucket.
like, yeah, nothing.
So, but I think
drop in the bucket.
Yeah, a couple million years. Like, that's what I think happened. Again, I have no scientific evidence or knowledge at all to back this up. That's just by like, what would make sense to me as a measly fucking pitiful fucking human being just taking up space on the Earth. What would make sense to have that much of a paradigm shift where reptiles and birds and shit was at one point roaming the world in large numbers, and all of a sudden one day it's like gone. Well, that would, because the atmosphere, you put a bunch of dust and shit in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Like some people want to.
We just do like what we did with
block
Texas.
out the sun. You get an ice age
down, and all the cold-blooded, lizards die because it's too cold.
Right. But yeah, so that's what I think happened, and I don't think we possess the amount of power. Like, sure, we can wipe out a lot of like life on land, but like aquatic life, it'll recover.
Fair.
I mean,
that's probably for the best.
We're not as powerful, right? We're not. People think, oh, we're the most powerful thing that ever happened. Well, not really.
No,
really not. Not really.
But,
we built a lot of shit, but like we built a lot of shit from
where now people don't want to take the garbage out of the ocean anymore because there's so many fish and like other marine life that is now using that as like a home, and it's like become an entire ecosystem.
Oh my God.
Because we let it sit there for so long that it's literally become an ecosystem. There's a fish that has evolved to eat plastic because of that.
Well, it makes me want to hop in my private jet and like go give a speech, halfway across the world. speak out against this because
We got to save the plastic eating fish.
yep, we have to start dumping more waste into the ocean. This is how we revert climate change.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, we're probably not ever going to stop dumping stuff into the ocean, but
I just think that people are that fucking cocky and arrogant and fucking naive. They have money, sure. That doesn't mean you're intelligent. It means you got lucky and you're okay at business, which is something that's totally man-made. Just because of that, you think that you can literally take on the world and,
well, I
and
mean, they
change
can. They have money.
the entire world.
Well, they can. They have money. They might not be smart, but here's what they could do. They have money. They can hire smart people.
So how about this? Money's worthless tomorrow. Money's worthless. Nobody gives a fuck about it. It's gone. It's done. It's over. Fiat currency, cryptocurrency is all fucking over. How are they going to survive?
It's a good question. They probably don't. Like everyone else.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you and I could survive.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be pleasant
we grew
or
up
easy at
like
the beginning,
poor,
but like,
so we grew up poor though. So like us finding,
yeah,
we had to. That's called like living. You don't live if you don't, do that stuff.
yeah, yeah, but it's, I don't know, it's just fucking crazy to me. Like, it's how complicated have we made life? Human existence.
Incredibly
Think
complicated.
about that, dude. So if you look at it, so somebody living in, we'll say the 16th century, okay, in Europe, what do you have to worry about?
Oh God.
Food.
Yep.
Food and water, kind of one. We'll mix it into one.
Yeah.
Food.
Yeah. Shelter, and that's about it.
Surviving. Paying
Yeah,
taxes.
and
I know
making sure
money
you
was
make more
around then.
kids.
I'm not
That's
dumb.
about it. Yeah, that's like 4 things you got to do.
That's it. That is
Yeah.
it.
Nowadays, we got tons of stuff we got to worry about. I'd love to have to just worry about that. That'd be so easy.
Well,
awesome
it's
life.
hard in a different way, but it's
worried
just
about was making kids, eating and drinking, and having a roof.
it's hard, but it's what people have been doing. That's why people still existed.
That's fair. Oh, I know
like,
one
it's
thing about
doable.
humanity. It's that humans like to fuck. That's for sure.
Well, not now.
Oh, there's always
Not
going to
now.
be people that are having kids.
Yeah, but you understand, like, people having sex nowadays, that rate
Yeah.
is way down.
Yeah.
Way down.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And also, the smart people aren't having kids anymore.
Yeah, it's like idiocracy at the beginning, which is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
that's
just
going to be
insane,
real.
like,
Costco's going to own everything, and
that's one of them.
welcome to Costco. I love you.
Yep.
Oh,
Plants
God.
love electrolytes.
Yeah, it's what electric, like water, like from the toilet. Ish.
Yep.
Oh God, I hope not.
God.
I really hope I don't get to live to see society collapse that far.
I don't know. I think we're all born in a really interesting fucking time because, like, I don't know, the internet has like changed everything, and it's like, but it happens so goddamn fast, and it's like we don't know how to deal with it. We
Yeah,
really
the
don't.
age
Like,
of technology.
even the people that are in charge,
Yeah,
dude. Even people that are in charge of it don't know. They're just going with the flow. And like, how can I make another $1 billion? that I've never
Yeah,
been
the
able to
age
fucking
of
spend in my
technology,
entire
everything's
life.
moving so fast, we almost can't process it. So we got to make artificial intelligence that will eventually make Terminators and kill us.
Perhaps.
Because artificial intelligence will be able to process it, since we can't.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe some smart guy can probably come up with a robot that can kill all of us.
Elon Musk. Well, you
No, he's too
underestimate
busy
Elon
putting
Musk.
cars in space.
Right. That fucking cult following shit. It's like, here's the thing, like, it bothers me about him is like he wants to be famous. Like he wants that.
Yeah.
He's already a billionaire. It's fine. He's already a smart dude. He's got great ideas. He pushes his brands to be like the best they can be. But
Yeah.
he wants to be like fucking Adolf Hitler famous. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
he does. He's
like
a very
everybody's gonna remember him
egocentric
forever.
person. Well, they're
Yeah.
going to. He's
And so
going to be remembered forever.
but
He's
that-
like the Nikola Tesla of our age.
But that bothers me. It's like
It
that
does.
usually
It bothers
doesn't end
me
well.
too. Because he's just
It usually
being
does not.
egocentric.
Yeah.
He has the money and everything to make himself that self-centered.
Right. But looking through history, the people like that, it usually doesn't end well for anybody.
You know what we should do? We should make him Chancellor of the World. Nothing bad will happen.
Right. I mean, I think he's got some good intentions. Like, he grew up in South Africa during a really shitty time.
A really shitty time in South Africa.
He got out of there. Yeah. And so he wants to actually make differences in the world and actually help people on one hand. On the other hand, like,
but he's only doing
his
that
ego
because,
is like,
for one, it's going to make him money, and for
right.
two, it gets him a bunch of publicity. So
there you go. And his ego, he likes having that fucking cult following behind him, and it's like, well, I pre-ordered Starlink. It's one of his products. You know why? I believe in him as a businessman because I know he seeks to improve. I respect that. Okay, it's not because I worship the guy and I'm like, oh, you're gonna actually make my fucking router and all that shit, my technology, my little dish, my receptacle to fucking do this. You're gonna do it. It's like, well, no, somebody he hired, probably 20 years ago is gonna do that. His vision is cool, but like, I don't worship the guy. I'm just like, you're offering one of your companies is offering a product that I need, I want.
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay you for it because I understand that through all that bullshit, it could be all negative. You've got some integrity. Like, you're like, I do want to provide a service to.
But the problem was, like, he's like, here's the thing. He's providing a service other people provide. But the thing that drew all the publicity was he's like, fuck you, people in the city. This isn't for you. You already have this. I'm doing it for the people in the country that either don't have it or have shitty versions of it. Why not just do it for everybody?
Well, but here's the thing:
he could just do it for everybody.
And I get that. And so what I'm thinking is that he's doing that, A, to test it out on us poor dumb country folk out here.
Yeah, fair.
A, there could be a reason. B, he legitimately does not like the way the fucking corporations, the monopolies, let's be honest, they're fucking monopolies. Okay.
Yeah, he wants their money.
He doesn't like the way that's going. He doesn't think it's fair.
He wants their money.
Sure.
And it's harder to compete where all the people are. So if he goes to where there's no competition, he could take all that money from him.
But he can make money worldwide, because if he thinks like, well, we provide an internet service to all these rural people in the United States. It's good internet service. It works.
Yeah.
Well, worldwide we can do this now, and we can make more money than these pieces of shit that are fucking over people in the cities here. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, we want Starlink out here or in the cities. He'll win. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But long run, I think it's a thing. Do I think it's a problem in that respect for capitalism and like providing a better product for a lower price?
He's providing a better product and everything for cheaper. Go for it. Yeah.
And then if you want to take over the cities, that's fine. Where I would have a problem with is if somebody didn't come along soon with the same sort of idea. To where I'm going to compete against Elon fucking Musk, and I'm a billionaire already, and I have tech savvy, and I fucking know people in the thing. That's where I would start. Like, we're talking 10, 15 years down the road. If there's no other competition, it's going to be like, okay, well, this is not good. It's not going to end well because there's one guy that's going to be taking over all. He's going to have a monopoly. I want Elon Musk to incite a lot of competition.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, I think so. Right now, what's happening is the big tech corporations like CenturyLink, those fuckers that are the reason we're lagging, or I'm lagging so fucking bad right now. CenturyLink, fucking Spectrum, all these big fucking Comcast, or Cuntcast, whatever the fuck you want to call them. All these big internet companies that have monopolies, and they're like, well, this is our zone. We want to encroach in your zone, so here we're good. It's a monopoly. Like, it's a trust, basically, is what it is.
Yeah,
it's a
they
trust.
Have certain areas, and they
won't
decide
compete against
not
each
to
other,
fuck with
even
each
though.
other.
Yep. And I think right now that is something that he's trying to fucking get rid of, to probably just troll to get a reaction. Yeah. He's a fucking prima donna. He wants a reaction,
That's right.
Which is fine. Because what does that do in the interim
Musk
period?
Probably used 4chan all the time as a kid. He's such a troll. He's just a troll with money now.
Than that. 4chan is
he's
4chan is for fucking with money. Really.
Everyone's got to start somewhere, Mike.
Perhaps. But like it's but you know what I mean? Like right now, and what's funny is most of the tech companies, they're just laughing at him, and it's like, well, that's how you fail. Like when you don't get it, and you're just like, this guy's just good. He's gonna.
What they should be doing is taking him seriously.
Fail.
If they would take him seriously,
fuck, we need to start. Right.
So,
and
you
that's
could have
cool
better
thing
quality
is like,
internet if they took him seriously right now, and you wouldn't have to worry. They wouldn't. CenturyLink wouldn't have to worry about losing customers then if they took him serious and provided better internet for cheaper.
Yep. But hey, I mean, that's see, I think these companies are so ingrained in this old world. There's a big paradigm shift that's been happening for a while, and 2020 kind of accelerated this. The old world of the fucking corrupt trusts and these fucking giant corporations working with each other, and these giant fucking swallowing up small bit, let's buy you out. That is coming to an end. It is coming to an end, and they don't realize that. And it's like they expect this to be going on forever because these people are so dumb. Well, no, now that we've got the internet, we can talk to each other. Like how far away? We're like 2.5 hours away on a drive right now.
Yeah, pretty close to 2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're sitting here talking, and who are we talking to? Oh, people from all over the world right now.
I don't know. I feel like most of these guys are well, except for Alexi, they're probably mostly American.
Literally, no. There's people from all over the world. Trust me. Trust me. It's
Alexi's here.
But anyway, it's okay, clown face. But like, you know what I'm saying is like, usually like back in the day, it's like if we wanted to talk to each other, we'd be sitting on the phone right now paying long distance fees, right?
Yeah. And then your neighbors might chime in and hear your conversation because you're all on the same line.
Yeah. And nowadays it's like, well, we're just sitting here on the internet, like exchanging. We're bitching, or I'm bitching about my shitty internet service and how I believe in this other company that's going to be,
twice as good,
hopefully, performing a better service. Right, but you know what I mean? Like we're sitting here doing that in real time. No, I've been reading a lot of people that are in rural areas, like around the country. They're liking it. Doing the speed test on that thing. They're like, dude, yeah. They're like, it's good. And they're like, "What about bad weather?" They're like, "Well, it's a little bit slower, but so is my DSL
Yeah, fair.
when bad
fair.
weather hits." Like, and
Is
so
that?
it's like
I
I
think
don't,
I
you
asked
know,
you,
in
is
bad
that going
weather,
to be like weather affected too, like satellite TV? Like if
according
there's
to
a
the
cloudless
site and the
sky,
people that
no
have had
internet.
it,
You
right,
know?
right, apparent, no. It's so much more advanced than that. And I
Okay,
don't know anything about this shit. I'm just going
fair.
on about like what people say and what like, actual customers have reviewed and like posted shit. Because they're not all good. Like some of them are like, I can't, like, my house is in a fucked up place. I have a bunch of trees. I can't get it to
Yeah,
work right. I'm still getting
trees
better
don't
internet
work
than I
good
had
with the
before, but it's
satellite. Yeah,
unreliable.
I get it.
But
I
where
grew
I'm
up in the
at,
middle of
I've
nowhere.
got a pretty wide open spot. Right. And so, but that's something that will be addressed. You know, I because he's such an ego. It's like kind of like Trump, right? Like all the politics and shit aside. One of the things I told people that they were like, "Why the fuck would I vote for him?" And I'm like, or he's such an ego fucking testicle piece of shit. I'm like, yeah, he is, but it's got him success thus far and got him what he wanted. What if you made his ego work for us?
Yeah, exactly.
Like he'd be held to a standard of like he has to make his ego work for the people that voted for him, or he's gonna be destroyed, right?
Fair.
And that's kind of thing with like with Elon Musk is like he has to succeed, he has to do better, he constantly has to, he has to be praised constantly. So did Donald Trump. Like
Yeah, because it's his
you
ego,
have to
and if
keep doing
something
good,
fails, it's going to also fail. He's going to lose all of that pizzazz he has with his name
right?
if one of his products fails,
And
and
that's
he
at that
doesn't
point
fix
when you right when you've got all the money in the world, the only thing you give a fuck about is your ego. You know,
it. Yeah,
it's like, but that's fine because it's not always used for evil.
fair. I mean, he did buy Gene Wilder's
It's
house after he died, so someone else couldn't bulldoze it.
who did
Elon Musk did. He
Elon?
bought Gene Wilder's house because it was like across the street from his after he died.
I would too. Like that's Gene
Yeah, and
Wilder
he's like,
was
I just
one of the
didn't want
fucking
somebody to destroy it because he's like, it's Gene Wilder's house, and he's like, I lived in there for a little while, and he's like, there's just like doors to nowhere and stuff. He's like, it's Gene Wilder's house. So,
Gene Wilder was that was a guy I would have liked to just hung out with for a weekend.
yeah, he seems cool as shit.
Not really drink or anything, just hang out with and like let's just go out and just be real.
That's right. And
Because
then
he
we
was a
can
super
go
smart guy.
off the charts genius. Yeah,
Yeah,
kind
really
of fucking
smart
crazy though.
and funny. Well,
Very
funny as
funny.
fuck. I mean, like,
Nobody else could have
so he was
done.
so
Yeah, all those movies.
any of his work. Yeah, nobody else.
True.
There's and like Mel Brooks saw that because like you get this like nerdy Jewish looking or Jewish guy from fucking New York. Okay, a dime a dozen, but it's like what sets you apart? It's like, well, you're fucking weird. You're like
Yeah, he's weird as
really
shit, but he's
weird.
also like incredibly intelligent, so he adapts real easy. So he's got that
Yep.
going for him. And that's why Blazing
God.
Saddles was so good.
Just his mannerisms.
Mm-hmm.
Blazing Saddles is fucking one of my top 3 favorite movies ever.
Fair.
So fucking funny. So fucking funny. Like
It's a good movie.
ridiculously, and it's well acted too. That's the thing is like even the people that are playing like the dipshits in the movie,
Yeah.
they did it well. It was like
Yeah. It's got one of my
if you want
favorite
to play
lines
somebody
too.
dumb,
He's like, I don't think I can do it anymore. I just can't do this. He's like, you see this? And he puts his hand up and he's like, yeah, steady as a rock. And he goes, yeah, but this is my shooting hand. And he sticks his hand up. And yeah.
shaking.
Yeah.
God,
Oh god.
that movie was funny on so many levels. It's like it's just fucking hilarious. It's so
Yeah.
good.
And it holds up
I
still.
mean, it's a
That's
Mel
the
Brooks
best
film,
part.
so it's like dude, it will forever hold up because it just makes fun of how stupid people are. But it's hilarious. Like the presentation, you cannot match it. It's
No. It's
oh
perfect.
god, so fucking funny. It's ridiculous. But
It
it's
is
so
so
accurate
ridiculous.
too. That's the problem.
Yep, it's too good. It's too good.
It's too fucking good.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Gene Wilder he's just a weird guy, like in his private life and everything too. Weird guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's why he pulled that off. And like, so Willy Wonka, okay, they
Yeah,
remade it, and I'm like, okay, well,
it's not as good as
I
the
get
original,
it,
but like
sure. I just, yeah, I don't know. I grew up with the original, and it's like a bias, and I tried to watch the Johnny Depp
the new
version, and
one.
it's like it's different. Like they didn't try to remake the movie, but like
No,
it's just
they
not the
have a
same
lot of the same
fucking.
major plot points, but that's it.
Yeah, but it's different, which I appreciate that they try to change it, but like it's like that fucking. Because I before I even saw the film at all when I was a kid, I was read the story at bedtime, over and over again. I
Yeah,
loved it. That and James and the Giant Peach and fucking,
James and the
all that
Giant
shit.
Peach.
I
Yeah,
was
I'm
read
surprised.
over and over again.
I haven't seen the remake of James and the Giant Peach, but I hear it's absolute garbage.
I'm not even gonna. I didn't even know they
No,
made
they
it. I'm not
remade
gonna
it.
watch
Yeah, they remade it.
it.
And I
People
think
need
it's
to realize when
actually
to
with
leave
the
something the
same
fuck
kid.
alone.
I think it's actually with the same kid that is in the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. That same kid that's like the main kid is the
People
same
need to
kid in
realize when to
James and
leave
the Giant
something.
Peach. Yeah.
They need to realize when to leave something the fuck alone. Just let it be.
No, we got to remake Blazing Saddles. So that way
No,
kids
if
will
I ever
probably
hear that, like I will, I if I even hear rumblings of somebody trying to do that, I will organize a fucking I will organize a movement, and we will go out there and trash the fucking set. Like it's not gonna,
cancel
they're not
culture
even gonna have a
people
fucking chance.
heads would explode if they were going to remake that movie.
But my head would explode because I know it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be
It would be
raw. It
nowhere
wouldn't be
near as good.
real. It
Yeah.
wouldn't be fucking believable.
Yeah.
Like because, but yeah, cancel culture people would be like, "Oh, we have something to be angry about today. Whoa, hey, my life has purpose because my life is a piece of shit." But like, whatever. And then the people that are making it would be like, "Well, we can't drop the N bomb because that'll get BLM on us. And well, we can't really do this. You
Yep.
can't.
We can't do this.
You
The
can't.
movie's going to be 8
Well, you
seconds
can't. Well, you
long.
can't do this." Yeah, and it's like, fuck, what are you doing? Like, really, let's be honest. What are you doing? So that's why. But I the good thing is, I don't think anybody would A, have the balls, and B, want to remake that. Because, like, even these people that are SJWs and are like, fucking out in the open, like, because, like I just said, like, my life doesn't have purpose. I need to make people think it does. They sit there and they watch Blazing Saddles and they fucking laugh their asses off because it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, in their private life. Yeah, fair.
In private. It's like, it's fucking funny. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Got some amazing actors in it.
Really
And
do. Yeah.
that's like, oh God. And they couldn't remake it. I don't think they could because of the
they literally
SJWs
could not. Yeah.
and the regular crowd that's going to be like, well, if you're going to make it, it has to be that good, and there's no fucking way you can make it that good.
Fair.
Like, that's it. So
Fair. I'm surprised, like there's
that's
other
another
like
reason that the original was so good.
why are they remaking like all these like childhood movies and stuff like that, And stuff, but like
Because they themselves were children.
Yeah, but how come you don't see any of the like super like really, really good from like back in the day like movies that got like shit tons of awards and stuff being remade? Like, how come
Name
somebody hasn't, like, with all the cool CGI and crap they have, like, tried to remake Gone with the Wind? Or, like, tried to remake, like, Mutiny on the Bounty?
Well,
Or like, why haven't they made all of these, like, landmark, like, films? Why haven't they remade any of those for, like, a new generation to enjoy,
because they're all fucking racist. That's why. They're all fucking racist. That's why.
Well, yeah, they're all racist back when they were made. That's when racism was still a thing and it was normal.
Well, Gone with the Wind takes place in the southern United States during the Civil War.
The Civil War, yeah.
But it's racist.
Yeah. Make it anyways.
That's literally why they will never remake that shit, is because slavery existed during the time of this video like taking place. So we can't do that
Put
because
a fucking
we'll get canceled.
sincere
It's like,
note at the beginning then, and then play the movie. You know what I mean?
you know what they should do? They should hire, like, for Mutiny on the Bounty, they should hire
I would
all
love
of
to
the
see a
cast, all the
modern
crew
day
to be
remake
black.
of Mutiny on the Bounty because I really like that movie. I
Dude,
feel like it'd be cool.
all the cast should be, all the cast and crew should be black except the captain.
Oh god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they
that
could
would,
just do like
because then
one
he
of those
was asked.
terrible like colorblind casts, you know,
Oh, just
which kind of
everybody's just
ruins the,
randomly like there. And it's like,
yeah, it
Yeah.
ruins the like historical accuracy of that era of the film. But like they could do it, and I'd be okay with it. So
I wouldn't.
you know what I mean?
No way. I'm not gonna bow to that shit. It's like, dude, no, it's not. It's not fucking realistic. Like, stop.
I want them to like tell the story though. That's the thing. It's about the story. They should, because you know how many people
But okay,
I know
the story, but
won't watch that movie just because it's like in black and white.
well, it's their problem.
I know, but I'm like, it's such a good movie. I mean, like obviously compared to today's standards, it's not that great of a movie, but like, it's such an actual good movie from like back when that was like peak of entertainment, you know. And if you go into it like
Yeah, I
somebody
don't know.
from the 1930s would have gone into it mindset wise, it's a fantastic movie. But
yeah, it's just today people are so goddamn, like, that whole culture's eating itself. They're gonna self-destruct because they're gonna get to a point where nobody wants to watch their shit because it's so goddamn forced and unbelievable. You know?
well, they got all those
It's like,
children's stories that they can keep remaking with a horror twist on them, you know?
yeah, and change up the cast and like
Yeah.
force people. Yeah. Anyway, so
Did you know
I don't
that
know.
Abraham Lincoln
I
was a
just,
vampire hunter?
right.
Oh god.
Never watched it, but yeah. Yeah, I think
You gotta watch
my
it just for
internet's
the
getting
memes.
worse right now. So
The spicy memes.
my internet's
of
getting
Abraham
worse. Like,
Lincoln.
you're lagging like literally like 10 seconds behind me. Like when I
Oh,
say something,
God.
you're like, it's not your internet, but it's mine. So like, I think we're gonna call it for tonight because
Okay.
like it's getting annoying. Like, not because of that. It's like, it's just, I don't like talking over you, and I know you're not
Yeah,
trying to talk
fair.
over me, and it's just fucking annoying. And I don't want that to be a bad experience for like people that are watching this later. But it's, my internet's
Fair.
getting fucking worse. So Starlink, Elon Musk. Oh, great, Elon.
Yep. All right. Well, I mean, we could call it. Thanks, Matt, for stopping by. Always good to
Yeah.
have you.
Yeah. Salute all ya. Yeah, good shit. Good talking about the combat patches too.
That's
Thank you for
right. I
asking that
learned some
question.
stuff. I learned
So.
some stuff today.
And now you know why I like
it.
the fact that I am allowed to wear a combat patch.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm proud to wear a patch on my right shoulder. It's pretty cool. But yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, everybody. Devin's stretching. He's very sexy. We'll see you on the next, probably Wednesday. If my internet's like not this shitty, we'll definitely do it on Wednesday. But yeah, sorry about that. That's why we did it on Wednesday, because my internet was like it is right now. So
Terrible. Yeah.
anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.